Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the October Hangout. Nice to see everyone again, and I can see already there are lots of people watching. I can see on the chat there's lots of activity already, so great to see you there. Let me see. Who have we got so far? We got Thomas Braun. Thomas Braun, hello from Gaggenau in Germany. Riaz Ali thinks my bookshelves have finally fallen down. It's close, but we're not there yet. Still not there. Amit Bharati asked, Daniel will be commentating in the Isle of Man. Yep, I am commentating there with Anna Rudolph. We're the commentating team, so that'll be nice. And that starts on, let me see, October the 20th, I believe. Let me see. Mark Holsby, hello from the Lake District. Oh, now that is beautiful. Used to have lots of family holidays in the Lake District. Very, very nice. Near Ambleside. Loved it. Matthew Tedesco, greetings from Seattle. Sleepless in Seattle, clearly. Atlanta. Let me see. One Love said, hi, Danny, mate. Brentford are 7th, 3 draws on the trot. What have we got today? You can see it there. Come on, you bees. Come on, you bees. Yeah, Brentford 3 draws on the trot, but they did draw against Leeds, who are top of the table. So still pretty good. I think their away form not as good as it could be. But indeed, at home, they've been playing very well. Greetings from Nepal. Hello from Brighton. This is really nice. We got our full range. We've got St. Robsters in St. Louis, Michael Olsen in Denmark. Fantastic. And Dan Boys, hello from Stuttgart. Also, schöne Grüße. Home to Bristol City next. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm going to be away. I won't be going to that match. I'll be in the Isle of Man, but yeah, should be good. And Raman Hamid says, greetings from Kurdistan. And from Zimbabwe, few people in Germany already. James Emerson in Brisbane. Oh, no, this is an interesting question. Jay Samo asks, hi, Daniel, what is your favorite representation of chess in literature and film? That's a great question. I really like Stefan Zweig's Schachnovelle. Well, it's a classic of German literature. The great thing is it's not too long. I can cope with that. And I have a couple of copies in English translations. One is very poor and one is excellent. And I also have the original in German, which is even better, of course. Riaz Ali says, hello from a bottle of Captain Morgan's rum. Fantastic, Riaz. Also, Shatranj, ciao dall'Italia. And, we've got people all over the place. Barcelona, Poland, Amsterdam. Okay, let me listen. Before we go any further, let me tell you what we're going to do today. I'm going to look mainly at games and puzzles from the Batumi Olympiad. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of games were played. So I thought it might be interesting to look at some of those. Let me see. Mark Halsby says, Zweig's hero learns chess like a neural network. I don't think I know enough about neural networks to comment on that, actually. Okay, listen, let me get the first position up for you to solve. Actually, this wasn't from the Olympiad. This is something I saw online today, actually. And is a little study for you. Not very difficult, but just rather sweet. So if you just bear with me, and I will throw the first position at you. And as ever, I do not want just the first move. I want the whole continuation. I don't like kick and run chess. I like considered chess. You've got to calculate the whole thing. So a bit of reflection. So let me get this on the board. And here we go. So hopefully you can see that. Let me just increase the size of the board. I know that was a request from last time, so hopefully that's a bit better. Can you all see that okay? Can you see the board? Is that okay? Round Hamid asks, which country am I from, Germany or England? Well, I'm English and I live in London. So there we go. However, I was in Germany yesterday. I was in Hamburg yesterday and over the past few days where I was hosting the Play Magnus live challenge. Magnus Carlsen was playing simultaneous display, a clock simultaneous display against players who play on the Play Magnus app, and they were flown in. So that was kind of fun. Nice event in Hamburg. Minimize the ribbon. Okay, I will minimize the ribbon if I'm capable of doing that. I'll probably mess up now. Oh, I think I've messed up. Hang on, how do I minimize the ribbon? I should know this, shouldn't I? Minimize ribbon. There we are. Is that better? That's better. Why am I in my shoes? Asked, was Magnus there? Yes, Magnus was playing 12 players simultaneously, a clock simul. Yeah. Chinar Patil says it was a good show, superb show. Good job hosting, Danny. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. It's you have to think on your feet, but it was good fun. Let me see. Yep, Ramand Hamid in Kurdistan looks like he's got the correct solution. That was very quick indeed. And Carol Tubil says rook e8. Yeah, and he's also got it. He'll take the rock and then the pawn. Take the rock and the pawn. Feels so good. My rock, my sliders roll through the mana, giving out our fivers. Okay, here we go. And there we go. That's the solution. So black is basically in Zugzwang in this position. So if we take here, the black king cannot approach. And if the rook comes to f8, then we can take and we just squeeze the king away, and that'll do. Excellent. The Ninot says, I was pleasantly surprised that Magnus speaks German very well. Yeah, he speaks a little German. Yeah, he doesn't speak so much, but of course he understands a great deal. Well, if you're fluent in English and you speak Norwegian, then you have no excuse. You ought to be able to speak German. Chinar Patel says easy. Yes, it was easy. Let's see. While we're here, let's come back. There we go. We're back again. Let me show you another position. That was a very easy start, and that wasn't even from the Olympiad. And I meant to be doing stuff from the Olympiad. So here's my first Olympiad position. Let me try and find something that's fun. Let me see. Not that. Just bear with me a moment while I get something nice on the board. Oh, this is nice. Training. There we are. Okay, just bear with me a moment. Here's your next position to have a look at. Just 1 second. There we go. Hopefully you can see that okay. This was played in the match between Morocco and Zambia in the final round. So Mohamed Tissir plays for Morocco, playing Douglas Munenga from Zambia. Alexander Mampili asks, how long will I stream? For about an hour. So better stick with it. So in this position, it's white to play. How did Mohamed Tissir play in this position? White has a typical kingside attacking position. Chinar Patil says, easy for actual chess players. I'll just watch. Ooh, Chinar. Ooh. Feeling good about yourself. Let me see. There was a question there. Carol Tubil asked, Daniel, in your opinion, who should have the best chances against Magnus as a challenger? I'm not quite sure I understand the question. He has a challenger, and it's Caruana. So everything else is kind of irrelevant. And I think Fabiano, I would say it's 50-50. I was talking about this yesterday with Carsten Müller in Hamburg. And I was saying that when Caruana qualified for the candidates in March, I thought that Magnus was the clear favourite. But this year, Caruana has shown such good form. He seems to have just been released by this candidates qualification from the candidates and qualifying for the final, that now I think it's wide open. I really think it's 50-50. Let me see. So it's white to play in this position. What are you going to do? And I want a clear variation, please. Nice clear variation. What are you going to do? Okay, Sridhar has a good idea. Marcello Capinetti says knight g3. Well, knight g3. Yeah, I think you've missed the point. There's an immediate tactic, actually. Warno says Caruana is just a less talented, better prepared Carlsen. Well, let's see. You might be right. Who knows? But Fabiano is in great form. Arnold says h4. No, not h4. One player has got it. Maybe needs. Yep. Eveyayo has got it. Yep. It went like this. Takes. Okay, this is all pretty clear. Takes. And takes again. And the point is that if king takes, we have a discovered check. Ooh, it's check. And again, a nasty little point is that the queen is attacking the rook. Very important. So basically, black hasn't got time to snaffle the knight there. However, let's go back. Because in this position, black actually played knight takes. Okay, over to you. What happens now? Yeah, exactly. What happens if black takes the knight first? Well, let's have a little look, shall we? Let's have a little look. What happens now? Fabian Kröger says knight e2, queen g5. Tapiwa Gora says Carlsen is very consistent in squeezing water out of a stone, which Caruana lacks. Well, I'm sorry, but I disagree with that. If you'd seen his game against Shahriar Mamedyarov from the Olympiad, then you might have another opinion. And we should just remind ourselves that Mamedyarov is rated 3rd in the world, and Caruana certainly did squeeze blood out of a stone in that one. So watch out. Johnny Bruce says, greetings again from up north. See you later. Okay, Johnny, nice to hear from you. Queen g5 was played, but what about knight f4? Now, you see, we're playing kick and run chess. Didn't think of that, did you? Ganesh Krishnan. That's the point I'm making. Of late, Caruana is also doing it, squeezing opponents. Fabian Kröger has got the idea. Knight e2, good move. So basically, we're just knocking this one out and then getting through to g6. And you can see the queen is miles away. Miles away. This is the problem. Okay, that's an interesting thought. What about rook takes d6? Let me see. Would that have been good as well? Quite possibly. But it also looks pretty strong as white is threatening to come in with the queen on some squares here. My only thought is, could I take this and then do this? Is that a little bit scary, or is it just mate? Not necessarily, because we can't check here. And if pawn takes, then we're in like Flynn. So I might be hanging on in that position. Yeah, I'm afraid not. Afraid not. Rook takes d6. But knight e2 was played. Anandu says, India waits you, Danny. Well, do you know what? I hope to come back to India at some point. I haven't been to India for a long time, and I would love to return. It's in my thoughts, Anandu. So knight e2 was played. So we want to knock out that knight. And then bishop e8 to defend that pawn. Now what, guys? Jackson Pemberton says the winner will be the player who's in the flow. If both are in the flow, then Carlsen will win in the tiebreak. Ganesh Krishnan says, are you coming for Tata Steel? Not that I know of, no. Oh, in that variation was, let me just go back a moment. Did I overlook something horrendous? In the variation with rook d6. I probably did. Let's have a look. Was queen e7 check strong? You could be right. Let's have a look. King up. And now what? Oh, I don't see it. It's not clear to me. No, not clear to me. There's no killer there. Let's go back. So yeah, so I don't think rook takes d6 was correct. But in this position, knight e2 was correct. And after this, rook takes f4 was played. Yeah. Cree2453 says, Daniel, I bet you do a great banter blitz. Any chance you include that in your channel? Do you know what? I actually don't enjoy playing blitz online. It's just not my thing. It's all about mouse speed, and you know, it's horrible. I did enjoy playing the Hand and Brain with Anna on her Twitch channel. I thought that was really good fun because it wasn't serious. But the problem is when one plays blitz online, you just get mental people who just kind of, you know, pre-moving and just doing all kinds of stupid things that to me have nothing to do with chess and winning because you're not quite as quick with the mouse. I hate that. So it's not for me. Alexander Mampili says, I watched a video where a GM explained that GMs are so good because of their positional understanding rather than tactics. Should I stop doing chess puzzles every day and do positional stuff instead? I think you need to do both. I mean, it's absolutely right that I think my positional understanding is good. And that has always pulled me through in many games. But unless you can spot a tactic quickly, you can forget about it. Okay, let's see. Black now played queen c3. I think, well, it's lost all the same. I mean, I guess if the queen comes back here, let's have a look. Then let me see, give a check and play here. And I would say that might be the end of that. Yeah, queen comes over, we take and take on d8. So black played in the game instead of that. So let's finish this off and then I'll come back to the chat. 1 second. Black played in the game queen c3, but this was finished off pretty pronto. I think that was the final move of the game. Yes. Well, let me see. If the king goes that way, then we do this. And if the king goes the other way, then that's pretty good, I now realize. There we go. Okay, let me come out of that and I'll continue chatting. So lots of questions. So yes, absolutely. The positional understanding is crucial, Alexander. And it's very good to work on that. And there's a very good book that I recommended on the channel recently called Strategic Chess Exercises. Wait, 1 second, let me just get it. There we go. This book. I like that a lot. Strategic Chess Exercises by Emmanuel Bricard. Find the right plan to outplay your opponent. Very nice book. Let me see. Matthew Tedesco says, what was the proper response to 92 early? Well, I'm afraid black was just lost. There's no decent response. Thomas Casson says, in the first game of the Olympiad, Aronian sacrificed a bishop at the end. His opponent resigned, but he could have actually have held the draw, or am I wrong? Really? I didn't realize that. I haven't got the game to hand, but I'll investigate that. Sounds strange to me. I don't remember anyone else saying that. One Love asked, Danny, what's your opinion of Nezhmetinov? Was he worthy of the GM title? Yeah, of course. I mean, he was an extraordinary, very creative player, very, very original. Shoruch Davlatov asks, Daniel, what do you think about Magnus as a world champion? Is he really a big champion, a great champion, I think you mean, with a unique fingerprint like other legends of chess, like Tal, Kasparov, Karpov? Absolutely. Absolutely. Magnus is a great champion. And yes, he does have a unique playing style. Well, as Karpov said, he's more Karpovian than Karpov. That Karpov actually said that. You know, this style where he tries to get these positions where he's just very slight advantage, but has control and manages to squeeze the position, squeeze the life out of his opponents. Great example was his game against Karyakin from St. Louis. This was a wonderful display and very typical of Magnus. So absolutely, he's a great champion and he has a unique style. Let me see. Mark Halsby asks, is Bricard's book available in either chess-based or chessable format? Do you know, please? Mark, there are various e-editions. If you check out, I'm going to write this down, just a second. If you go to newinchess.com and check out the shop there, and it's a New in Chess publication, and you go to the online shop, find Strategic Chess Exercises, and you'll see that it's available in various e-formats. So I'm sure you'll find something that is suitable for you. Let me see. Alexander asks, I've got a lot of old books, Tarash, Nimtsevich, Over. Is it worth reading them, or is the old theory useless? No, the old theory is not useless. Absolutely not. You know, this is classical chess. I think the thing is, when you're at club level, kind of understanding or knowing if there's an improvement in a game in the Russian Junior Championship or Move 25 is irrelevant for you. What is relevant is understanding classical chess, how you bring your pieces into the middle of the board, how you try and control the center. And these great players, Tarash, Nimzovich, Alyakin, Capablanca, they all understood this. And so it's not necessary to have the absolute up-to-date theory if you're an amateur. What you do need is to understand an opening and the principles of the opening. It's not necessary to learn really sharp variations, but the principles are very important. Okay, let me go on. Okay. Mark Holsby says, great, thank you. I have no space in my flat. Yeah, I know the feeling. I mean, the books you can see behind me, this is a fraction of the chess books that I own. I have hundreds and hundreds. You can't see them around the room and in other rooms as well, but they're on this, in cupboards here, and they're all over them. I've got piles of them on the floor. My office is just completely overflowing. So yeah, I understand, but I like chess books a lot. Okay, let's have another game. Too much chat. Let's get into something else. And of course, let me see. Let's have something fun. That's probably a bit too easy. Hang on a second. I'm just fishing out a game. A little puzzle for you. Just bear with me, folks. I will get there. Okay, this is nice and easy. So I'm just going to share this any moment. If I can. I seem to have lost where I am. Okay, let's get back. That was a bit dicey, but we're there. Fantastic. Let's try this one. Okay, very easy. White play, quickest win. Off you go. Tapiwa Gora asks, how do I go about improving my calculation skills? Well, one thing is improving your blindfold play. So, for example, get used to reading games from a chess book and making sure you've still got the position in your head. Oh, yeah, too easy. Knight g6 and queen g7, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's... I mean, calculating is such an important skill, but it's basically playing blindfold. That's what it is. So if you can practice that, practice playing against a mate of yours blindfold. Well done, guys. This is very easy, but let's just check it anyway. There we go. And too easy, way too easy. Okay. Yeah, calculation is basically playing blindfold. But also, it's not just that. I mean, it's different skills. One is playing blindfold, you know, being able to think ahead. And the other is knowing which moves to calculate and when to calculate. Because in many chess positions, it's simply not necessary to calculate. You might check out my PowerPlay DVD. I think it's DVD number 10 on calculation. That'll give you a few hints. Jojo asks, how do I learn playing blindfold? Play against somebody. Sit down across a table without a chessboard and say e4. And hopefully they'll say c5 and you say knight f3 and off you go. That's how you practiced. Mark Horsby comments, I was intrigued that Peter Lecker remarked that he trained Vincent Keimer with studies principally. What do you think about that? Well, I think that's absolutely fine. I think solving studies is an excellent way to practice calculation. But you have to remember that climate is already at an extremely high level. So I would say if you're at a much lower level, then solving the kind of studies that he was solving is not really, it's just a bit too much. You have to start with puzzles first. But it's all about calculation and pattern recognition. So yes, solving puzzles is a good thing. In a sense, Keimer, in solving studies, which are often very difficult, is basically just doing the same thing, but an extremely high level. I think that's the point. Asaf Patir says, why not e4, c5, c3? Whatever you want. Michael J. Fitch calls it John Tisdall's stepping stone approach. All right. Well, I didn't know John recommended that, but I am a great admirer of John Tisdall and his work and his ideas. He's a very thoughtful guy, and if that's his recommendation, then definitely, yeah. John's an old friend of mine, and he understands chess extremely well. Right, another position, something perhaps a little bit more difficult, if I can fish something out. Yeah, this is the very end of something I mentioned a moment ago. So let's just take a look at that. One moment. Here we go. Just bear with me. And boom. Oh, hang on. That's better. So this is the end of this game I mentioned between Fabiano Caruana and Shakhriar Mamedyarov, USA against Azerbaijan. After this, Azerbaijan kind of faded. They were looking good at the start, but this win was absolutely crucial. And Fabiano played a beautiful game against Mamedyarov. One Love asks, apparently Jonathan Parker is a very strong player who, like Luke and Matthew and Julian, quit chess. How can we stop our best chess talents from leaving the game? Well, you have to earn a living when you play chess, and it's not easy. But also it's about lifestyle. As a professional chess player, it involves a lot of travel, and to some extent it's quite a bohemian lifestyle. Now, if you're not up for that, then being a chess professional is not for you, and not everyone travels well. I could name other English players that really the lifestyle didn't suit very well. I would even say, this might surprise you, but I would say John Nunn. John is a fantastically strong player, at his best in the top 10 in the world. But actually, I never got the impression that he really enjoyed being away from home that much. He was someone who was quite set in his ways. He might well disagree with me. He spent a very long time as a professional chess player. But I think, well, certainly towards the end of his playing career, he just didn't enjoy it that much. And I completely understand that. The same happened with me as well. That after a bit, I I settled down, got married, had kids, and I don't want to go halfway around the world. I like my home. It's a decision you make. Viperman asks, what is bohemian in German? Bohemian lifestyle. Well, someone that it's perhaps when I say a bohemian lifestyle, it means an unconventional lifestyle. You don't follow, you don't have a 9-to-5 job. You improvise in your life somehow. Yeah, an unorthodox lifestyle, really. Ganesh Krishnan says, I accidentally came here. Do you do this every week? I like all your PowerPlay videos. Oh, well, I'm glad you got here by accident. Labatasha says Bohemian equals Zigeuner. No, that's not correct. Bohemian lifestyle does not mean a Zigeuner. Zigeuner is a gypsy, and that's absolutely not it. In English, a Bohemian lifestyle means something that's, yeah, as I said, unconventional, unorthodox, but it does not mean Zigeuner. Jürgen Becker says none likes to join the World Solving Championship. Yeah, well, that's not a different kind of competition. Yeah, the solution, as Fabiano found, was check, and then he left his queen here on g8 to be taken, because then rook h4 was mate. Let's just deal with this one very quickly. And they went g5. I mean, obviously, if that's taken, then that wouldn't be very good. But Fabiano found a beautiful move, which was queen e8. A wonderful move, actually, threatening two different checkmates in one move, and that was just too much. I mean, this is wonderful geometry. If you haven't seen that game, then I would highly recommend having a look. I actually analyzed it on my channel, so do go back and look at the channel and look at it. I mean, Fabiano plays absolutely beautiful. Bohemian lifestyle could be translated as Lebenskünstler. You can say Lebenskünstler auch. Das geht auch auf Deutsch, ja. In der Richtung. Asaf Patir says, actually, the term Bohemian does originate from mocking Parisian artists who look like gypsies. Well, that is quite possible, but I would never translate it as Zigeuner. That's, well, for a start, I find that just rude because it's pejorative. Anyway. Michael Yen says, hi, Daniel, greetings from Switzerland. Hi, in Switzerland, a country I'm very fond of, I have to say. Asaf Patir says, just a historical anecdote. Yes. Sam Wampa says, Zigeuner just means gypsy. That's what I just said. Gee, keep up, everybody. Okay, let me give you another position. I tell you what, I'm going to show you a game here that was, I think, in some ways very, very instructive, because this is a game that I see played, in a sense, by many, many amateurs. So if you want to learn what not to do, then this is a good lesson. And this was played in the Albania-Guatemala match between Dritan Mehmeti for Albania and Carlos Reyes Najera from Guatemala. Let me go to this. And this is very, very instructive. And it's interesting that the players in the Play Magnus Live Challenge also made similar mistakes. And I see this in a lot of amateur games. I'm not going to hide the moves. I'm just going to go through the game and point out where the huge mistakes are. Okay. I might show you a game. Not this time, maybe next time. We'll see. Okay, so as I said, this is played in Albania-Guatemala match. Now, the player of the white pieces is rated 2391, not terrible. And the player of the black piece is rated 2149. I'm guessing that is probably stronger than a lot of people watching. So just bear this in mind before you criticize, that these mistakes are very typical. And here we go. So it's a Trompovsky. And so far, these moves are fine. I mean, personally, I've always thought that the best way to play against the trump is just to play d5. Classical chess, get your pieces out, and after bishop takes, you play like this, and you play with the two bishops. Sometimes I think it's best just to play classical chess. You know, it's hard to go wrong then. But of course, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this. So black is also playing classically. This is fine. Efzal Kheladini says, I'm Albanian. Great. Michal Varta says, does anyone still play the Sveshnikov? They certainly do. Very good opening. Now here, in this position, black plays pawn takes pawn. Now this is not a disaster. This is possible. But already, the way that black follows up, then I'm not so sure. Already, I think black, starts to go a bit wrong. I mean, personally, I think I would start to chase this bishop straight away, because if this is taken, well, I'm happy, and if the bishop comes back, well, I might even consider g5. But anyway, so first of all, he exchanges, and that is desirable, and then he plays bishop e7. Now, if you're going to play this, again, you could potentially do something like this and play knight h5. I think this is the only way to justify releasing the tension. This is such a common mistake, releasing the tension too early. So, bishop e7. Bishop d3. Already I like white's position, and it's all because this has come too early. And this bishop is sat at home. It's not great. Queen b6. Now, again, I don't like this move because the queen actually moves away from the king side. The threat to take on b2 can be parried with ease by rook b1. And then you have to ask yourself, what exactly did the queen move achieve? h6. The bishop is preserved, fine. And bishop d7, and white just castles. White does not need to do anything flash in this position at all. Just simple classical developing moves. Now, black decides to play g5. So if castles, then we know exactly where we're attacking. And if castle's queen side, it looks very fishy. You know, white has a kind of ready-made attack with b4 and a4, particularly as the queen provides a nice target. So g5. And g4. Well, this doesn't trouble us. The knight comes in here. h5. And white decides to take on c6. Yeah, I guess that's okay. Because he wants to keep this square for the bishop. And queen e2. Okay, simple development. Mark Halsby says, so true about releasing the tension. As I grow stronger, I'm still horribly weak. I find it's usually my opponent who releases the tension first. Yeah. Okay, a5. What's that got to do with the price of tea in China? I have absolutely no idea. So this is already looking very nice. And I mean, maybe black was toying with the idea of castle's queen side. I mean, who knows? I think the problem is that white is already threatening to play something like f3, opening the f-file, exploiting this pin. And b3. b3, was that necessary? I suppose he wants to play c4. So, yeah, I mean, white is in complete control in this position. You can actually do anything. I dare say it's possible to open the position immediately with f3, but I see nothing wrong with b3 because the king actually has no home to go to, and c4 is a very logical move. Knight d7 wants to exchange off. Bishop f4. And a4, well, that's a very careful move. I mean, I don't see what's wrong with c4, but as I said before, actually, there is no hurry in this position. Black can really achieve nothing here. And the queen came back. And finally, white decides to break with f3. Yeah, could have been done before, but there was nothing wrong with this. Asaf Patir says, can't you play c4 right away? You could do this. If you don't mind, I'm not going to take questions. I'm just going to go through this game if you don't mind, because it's rather distracting. I'm sure you appreciate that. Rook c8. Okay, he exchanged. Now this is an interesting moment. He went for bishop e5, which is good for white. But actually, simply playing rook e1 first is much, much stronger, as we'll see, because black's king can't escape, and simply bringing the last piece into the attack before going any further is by far the best move. In fact, black could have kind of struggled on, as we're about to see. But white went for it with bishop g7, and he should probably come back to g3. And now white went for it. Queen takes e6. I mean, this is quite funny, really. Obviously, if that's taken, then that's checkmate. So this just looks like the end. But actually, white got a bit excited, because after rook takes, well, black lost very quickly. But actually, if he plays knight f8 in this position, then he's still kicking. Things wouldn't have been so clear. But you can imagine if there'd been a rook on e1 in these kind of circumstances, it would have been all over. But the best that white has is to do this. Now he's a rook down at the moment. And this is problematic. In fact, white is better. I mean, this is an amusing move. Forks two rooks. Whoops. Misfired. And this endgame with the two bishops is absolutely not clear, because b5 is coming and black has definite compensation in spite of being 2 pawns down. It just shows black basically got disheartened. He stopped calculating. In the game, rook takes happened. And then queen f7. And that was the end of that. Obviously, that's mate next move. Black got demoralized in this position. This was the problem. And he just crumbled. But if we go back, to me, I repeat, there are classic mistakes in this game. One, releasing the tension for no reason whatsoever. If he'd followed up with this, then this is actually playable. And then, you know, maybe the bishop comes in here, and one can do this actually. I'm not exactly sure. Can we get away with f6 now? Is that a bit too risky? f6. I'm nervous about playing f6, but it might be okay. If there's no immediate tactic, and I don't think there is, then this is playable, because knight takes can be met by pawn takes, and the rook covers this. This is okay. This is actually okay. But following up with bishop e7 is dreadful. And now white is just in his element, totally. And queen b6 I don't like at all. So yeah, it's a horrible game, but I repeat, I've seen that kind of thing so many times with amateur players, that the tension is released too early. If you thought that was too simple, well, it was too simple. But like I said, Seen it too often. Okay. Let me see. Jay Samo asks, as with the Zwei character, have you ever become obsessed with chess? Not to that extent, no. No. I mean, there are times in my life when I've been very dedicated towards chess, but I've always had other interests in my life, even if they were not the most cultured when I was playing on the chess circuit, normally to do with drink and women. Let me see. The Carlsen Caruana game in St. Louis showed why one ought to never stop calculating. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is, I think that game shows a typical example of when to calculate. When there is enormous piece interaction, then you have to calculate. When there isn't that much piece interaction, then you have to think about how your pieces relate to each other, piece harmony, piece position, and also pawn structure. That's the emphasis should be on that. Whereas if you try to calculate in those situations, then you're probably wasting your time. But in that situation, that was all about calculation. Bhavnesh Diwan asks, am I a cricket fan, Daniel? Do you know what? I like cricket very much. I think it's a great game, but I don't have that much time to follow it. You know, sometimes I look at in England, if they're playing a test match, I like that very much, but I don't have that much time to watch. But I repeat, I like the game very, very much. Labatasha asks, when's the World Championship going to start? 9th of November. I can see that time is marching on, and I want to show you. I'll answer a few more questions and perhaps show you a puzzle at the end. King Gref says, Daniel, c takes d4 is played to not lose a move since any bishop move can be met by d takes c5. Right. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. If white plays d takes c5, then you recapture the bishop, and white has given up the center. So, big deal. You see, black got obsessed by the wrong things, basically, and took the pawn on d4. That was the problem. Evzal Khiladini asks, are you going to do a live commentary on the World Championship? Probably not, no. But I will be reporting, and I'll be at the venue, and I'll be doing reports afterwards. Have I ever been to Minneapolis? Not yet. Afshin Ansar asks, how did I learn German? Do I have any non-English ethnicity? I learned German by playing in the German Bundesliga. And basically, when I visited there, I decided I'm going to learn German. It's as simple as that. Trevor PR1 says, best way to follow cricket is on BBC Radio. Yeah, I really enjoy listening to Test Match Special with Jonathan Agnew on the BBC. The Sludge Man asks, Daniel, can you talk about how you found the weaknesses in your game and how you worked to overcome them? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I learned what my weaknesses are through experience, actually. Funny thing is, now, looking back at my chess career, I understand far better what my weaknesses were, actually. Hindsight is a great thing. Labatasha says, I don't have weaknesses. No, I didn't say that. I have lots of weaknesses when I play chess. But that's what I'm saying. I understand now what my weaknesses were when I was playing chess far better. Don't twist my words, mate. Why am I in my shoes? Ask, have you found that when you were younger, you took more risks at the board? Are you more conservative now, or risk averse? Well, one thing is that, I don't play professionally now. No, funnily enough, I was probably more risk averse. It's hard to generalize. I became more aggressive the older I got in some ways, actually, curiously enough. One Love says he's heard that Harry Kane is keen on a move to Brentford. Brentford, let's go. By the way, I should say with the mugs, PowerPlayChess will be producing some mugs and t-shirts very soon, so watch out for that. Hopefully coming your way soon. Watch out for an announcement. Question, am I going to comment on the Isle of Man tournament? Yep, I will be one of the official commentators there, along with Anna Rudolph. Will be the commentary team and others from chess.com. So watch out for that. It's going to be a fantastically strong tournament. I'm really looking forward to it. Should be great fun. Ramand Hamid says, is that a bug on the mug? It's not a bug, it's a bee. Brentford, the bees. We're the bees. Dearie me. Great football team. I'm doing quite well so far. Okay, listen, before I go, I'm going to show you a couple more puzzles, something very easy to finish. Let me see. What have I got here? This is nice because this is a technique. If you remember this, chess is all about patterns. And if you know this technique, then this will serve you well. So hang on a second. Here we go. This is incredibly simple. So frankly, if you know this, then don't bother writing in. If you have to work it out, then great. Work it out. White play. What's the quickest way of winning this position? Or maybe the simplest way of winning this position? Albar says, oh no, I don't want to go to revisit the Ho Ifan scandal because that was ridiculous. Basically, well, I just don't want to go there. I mean, she protested against computer pairings. I mean, so what, King Gref says it puts it very nicely. Light square dominance. That's a very nice clue because you've told me that you know the solution, but you haven't given it away for other people. Thank you very much, King Gref. Afshin Ansar asks, I know this sounds massive, but I want to ask you, do you have an ultimate goal in life or a big dream you're chasing? Well, that's a really good question. I have to think about that. There's certainly a couple of projects that I'm working on at the moment that are quite long term. Ultimate dream. I'll have to think about that. Yeah, maybe that should be the first thing I think of. Yeah, everyone. Well, most people have got it anyway. So here's the solution. This little trick, or this little mating pattern, is something that is very, very useful to know. Here, Black resigned. It just makes life very much simpler. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's a quicker way to win this. But I love that pattern. And first time Mr. King can't spot the word king in a handle. No, I said king gref. Oh, jeez. Cloth ears, the lot of you. Yeah, anyway, that's the pattern. Let's just see it again. Here we go. Queen h7. Nice little steps. Just works its way across the board. I've had that a couple of times in games, and it's very satisfying. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there fairly soon. Why Men in My Shoes comments, that pattern is like a diagonal lawnmower, mate. Yeah, it is very beautiful. It's very, and like I said, I've played it. I remember playing it in a game, and it's a very satisfying checkmate to deliver on the board. I'm not disheartened, Daniel Ellis. I just wish people would listen. Let me see. What do Michael Walter asks, what do I think of Jan Duda? Yeah, very promising guy, very promising player. Right, I think I'm going to leave it there, folks. Look out for more videos coming your way. I'm going to be continuing my Caruana top 10 attacks. I've got to, I think maybe I've put 7 videos, so recorded 7 in the playlist so far, and there'll be more to come. Well, adding up to 10. Bizarrely, in a top 10 attacks. So they're going to be coming over the next couple of days. So look out for that. Thanks everyone for joining me. It was good fun. And yes, do sign up on Patreon. We need to grow the channel. I would really appreciate it. As ever, I'm going to put it in. Here we go. Let me write this in. Hang on. We need your support. A few people have been whinging about advertisements. We need to put in advertisements to actually give us a little bit of income. At the moment, we put in more hours than how can I put this? We put in more effort than we don't get enough back for the effort that we put in. That's what I'm trying to say. So we would really appreciate it if you did support, if you can support us on Patreon and enjoy the rewards. That's the thing. If you donate a little something every month, then you get extra videos, you get a newsletter, there's more instruction. And we try to post videos in advance without advertisements for those that don't like them. So do consider supporting us on patreon.com. Marla Skitter says, is it possible to sign up with PayPal? You can see in the description, there is a PayPal link as well. You can click through and you can make one-off donations on PayPal. You can also do a monthly contribution on PayPal and we'll give you the same rewards. So there we are. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye now.